This is just more editing I have to do.
It is.
All
That's a point.
right. Let's get serious now. Let's get serious now.
I don't listen. Half the fun of doing this is not being serious.
Yeah,
If you make me
yeah,
be serious, it's gonna suck.
That's right.
All right, so we're in undisclosed location in Michigan at a campground. You can see.
Why is it undisclosed?
We're not telling anybody where we're at. Where are we?
It's a
Yeah.
secret.
This.
Tell them where we're at.
Do you know where we're at?
We're in Michigan.
we're at J-Do Campground in the Irish Hills, Tipton, Michigan.
Oh yeah, that's where we're at.
Andy's.
Reason
Both of them.
for this video is to give you input on how we started our YouTube channel, how we started as a group, a little background, and what our plans are, what we've done so far, and what our future plans are. So I'm Rob.
I'm John.
Midge.
So we've known each other for what?
Oh my God.
35
years.
35 years, and we've all been involved in a bunch of different activities. We're all from Ohio. John now lives in Michigan,
That's all right. We still love them.
but we're getting to that age where we're ready to retire, and
Mosquito spray.
we wanted to do some things, and we started riding quads or side-by-sides. Me and John had them for hunting, quads. Greg was a motorcycle guy most of the time. Rode some ATVs and stuff, three-wheelers and stuff when he was younger, correct?
Yeah. Raced a little motocross.
So we've had what you say, power sports or that kind of stuff in our life before, but we're married, kids, life happens, families, all that. Now kids are all grown, and we were looking for something to do in common with each other and with our wives, and we started riding these side-by-sides and got our kids involved. And then we thought, you know what, Greg is a YouTube nut, or we're all YouTube nuts now, but he was the first YouTube nut. Research on everything, campers, camping, places to go, things to do, handyman projects, anything. Always looking at YouTube. Got me and John into it. We decided as a group to start a YouTube channel and kind of document what we're doing. So,
All right. Why don't you just tell them how we met?
well, we all met at an amusement park, Cedar Point.
He's afraid to tell anybody we met at Cedar Point. The statute of limitations hasn't run out yet.
And
We all worked in the same department.
when we were talking here at the campground tonight, so I've been married 31 years, John's been married 30 years, and Greg's been married 29 years.
Yeah.
So we all have a connection with each other. It allows us to do what we're doing now. I don't have a trailer, but these guys have trailers, and we've been sitting here casually taking in a weekend and don't care what time it is or whatever. And we went to a cider mill today and did some walking, and so we decided to do this video to kind of preview a series we're going to come out with of our last trip, and then give you an indication of what we're going to do in the future. So as far as the background on us, like I said, this is something we wanted to do, give us something to do in our almost retirement years, and be able to travel and see things that we haven't seen before. So
Now this is pretty good for you. You know that, don't you?
that I'm talking,
Just that you're talking on camera.
I can turn it on when I need to.
It's not on yet.
I can turn it. Yeah, the camera's not on yet. Practice.
Well, wait, what did I say?
So
I forgot.
Did somebody write that down so I can say it again?
But he's a very good speaker. I don't understand why he was so intimidated by that camera.
I'm not intimidated.
He just doesn't
I
want to
choose
be
to
on there.
turn it on when I turn it on.
Oh, now that
And this is not work. This is fun.
hey, listen. Now that there's a chance of making money out of this stuff, he's all in.
Yeah, well. So
Tell the truth.
I think the first trip that the three of us took together
Was to Michigan.
was to Michigan in between Christmas and New Year's.
Wait a minute. Are you thinking this most recent or
No,
No, the first trip we ever.
Now?
Our first trip.
No, the first trip on
Our first
side by
side trip.
Oh, as adults.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we got this. I had already had a Can-Am that I bought for hunting.
You might want to wait a minute.
And somebody's getting crazy out there on the road. That was us 20 years ago. But yeah, I had a Can-Am I used for hunting, and I had a Yamaha quad, Grizzly quad. And John had a Polaris that he used for hunting. And he ended up buying a Cub Cadet, and we'll show you that later on. And I talked to Greg into, I was nonstop on Greg to get a side-by-side.
Brutal.
He sold his motorcycle and bought a Yamaha Wolverine, and then the excitement started, adding accessories and starting to plan everything we wanted to do. And our first trip together was just kind of thrown together. John's living in Michigan, and we decided to go up and visit him in between Christmas and New Year of 2019, right?
Yeah.
2019 sound right?
Right in the COVID. Right in the middle of
These
COVID.
guys are worried about bugs, and they're spraying everything all over. Got a nice fire, and they're worried about bugs.
But the bugs are.
But
bugs
yeah,
are
we
eating, the bugs are eating us.
so we learned a lot there. Greg didn't have a windshield. These guys are joking around trying to tell a story. Greg didn't have a windshield, froze his ass off, came
Yes,
back,
he did.
bought a windshield. We all couldn't believe that John bought a Cub Cadet. We didn't even know Cub Cadet made side-by-sides. But in the end, and you'll see in some of our stuff if you like and subscribe to our channel, you'll see things that the Cub Cadet does that will astound you. And so we did this ride. Michigan's a nice place to ride. Roads are like trails up there. You can pretty much ride, other than on the interstate, you can ride anywhere up in
Northern Michigan.
It's like northwest is where we went. Tin Cup.
Yep.
I think it's Lake County is where we were.
Lake County, near Chase, Michigan, which is just a little hole in the ground, but they got some great food there. They got a nice restaurant, but it's just on the west side heading towards Baldwin. So if you're looking for reference points, that's how you would get to the Tin Cup. And the Tin Cup, it's only an 18-mile oval, but when you get out on the far end of it, there's some power lines that you can ride up and down, and because you can ride the roads, you can go all over the place. So that 18 miles could turn into, 30 miles easily just by veering off a little bit. I mean, you stay on the trail, but you make sure that you stay within the guidelines of the power lines, and you're good. So we had a good time.
And I think the only other vehicles we saw on the trail were 2 Jeeps
And a pickup truck.
and a pickup truck. Well, I don't think we saw any quads or side-by-sides. And like I said, Greg, it was his first trip out on his Wolverine, no windshield. He just picked it up not too long before that. It wasn't really cold, but it was cold enough when you're going down the trail that he looked like an ice cube when he was done.
I don't know, it was only like 3 degrees that day. It was a cold day.
I didn't have any trouble. John didn't have any trouble, but Greg had a little trouble with no windshield.
But that was your first time out on your machine. That was my first time out on my machine. So we were testing it out for the first time out in the middle of the winter on the icy trails.
December 28th.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it really wasn't that bad. I mean, we all were bundled up. Greg was the only one that got cold, I think. So that was pretty cool.
So from there, and our wives are back at the campsite taking pictures of us.
I don't know why. We still look the same as we did when they left.
From there, we started all these big plans of where we were going to go, and it centered around a trip to Newfoundland. I had traded emails and text messages and things with guys in Canada that have done this trip. I stumbled on Crossing Newfoundland by ATV. A great website if you get a chance to go to it. And I started telling these guys all about it. East Coast ATV is the Facebook page.
There's also a Crossing Newfoundland Facebook page.
Yep.
They put out a lot of information.
And it was one of those things where he does this for no money. He takes donations, but he just gives tips to other guys that ride quads or side by sides and want to experience what he does. And I think he's been going for, I don't know, since 2009.
Long time.
I'll have to look at his, and you know, he'll give you maps and tips and packing trips, and he has video series that he puts on YouTube, and it's it really got us going on what we wanted to do, and so we started planning. We started planning. We had a fairly large group that wanted to go, and then of course COVID happened, and we had to cancel the trip. But in the meantime, to prep for that, we started looking at other areas we could go, and we took our wives to Mines and Meadows in PA for Valentine's Day ride, and I think we had
Near Geneva College.
it's
something
like
like
the first exit inside the PA line from Ohio.
Yeah, it's not far. It's not far into PA. It's just north. It's about 45 minutes to an hour north of Pittsburgh, and
Good enough riding that we went back again.
We've been there twice now. Yeah.
And we also Tecumseh Trails.
Yeah.
We had a place in Southern Ohio, went to Tecumseh Trails, and
we've hit that one twice. Once in the winter.
Yeah, and it's
once in the summer.
You got to check out the videos though, because some of us don't know how to ride our vehicles very well.
It's been a learning experience. We've had fun though, and the nice thing about it is, you know, this is something where we put things together and hey, let's go here. Okay, jump in the trucks and go. And we've got our, you know, I got my two boys involved. John got his boy involved, trying to get Greg to get his boy involved. Our wives are interested in it. You know,
they're getting on us about not taking them.
Yeah,
they want to know when their trip is next.
So with all that, and after we did Mines and Meadows and Tecumseh and all that, we were still planning for the Newfoundland trip, and you know, we were still hoping that COVID would let us cross the border. We took it down to almost a month out and had to cancel. And we had on our list of things that we wanted to do, ride the wilds in New Hampshire. And I didn't see a lot of information online about that, but again, did some research. I think all you guys kind of looked at different things, and
well, I think Rob's the planner. Rob's the researcher in regards to the places that we go. He enjoys scheduling those, planning those, reaching out to the folks for hotels, for different attractions to visit.
Contacting other riders, trying to get information from them.
Yeah, I'm just mooching. That's all I do.
We just go for the fun.
I didn't get in this to be serious. I got in this because I'm old now, and I want to enjoy things. I want to go see places in the United States that we've never seen before.
And see it in a different way than most people see it. Right?
Yeah, that's going to make the final cut of the video.
Like see it like on the side of your side by side. Like, you know, it's a certainly different perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. You get a different perspective of what the world is looking like.
As you're looking at it sideways and upside down.
That's right. And while we're on the topic, you know, we Greg, ever since he's got his machine and his trailer, it seems like every time we go somewhere, something happens with him. Well, again, he's never been hurt or anything like that, but some of his equipment's been hurt, and you know, he ended up in a big mud puddle. He wasn't driving, but he was in the vehicle.
Yeah, but tell the truth. Who suckered
John suckered.
John, nothing. Rob, you can do it. You can do it.
Come on, Wayne.
Greg.
Come on, Wayne. It's time to break your chair.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can catch that stuff on our channel, and you know, and I get to the name of the channel. We thought about this for quite a while, trying to think of how we can name a channel that kind of
represents who we are.
Yeah, and what we're trying to do. Yep. And you know, we're all close to retirement age, and
you more than us, because you're so much older than us.
That's right. Yeah. Greg's the oldest here. So we came up with Not Done Yet Adventures.
Not Done Yet Adventures?
Absolutely.
Who came up with that garbage?
Not Done Yet Adventures. I think we were tossing a bunch. No, that was a group decision. We had a couple other ideas in there along those lines, and
I think
we
you
had
kind of came up with it.
we
though.
had to make sure we
Yeah.
could find a YouTube channel that would let us have that name. And
Right.
The geriatric guys didn't work.
Yeah.
So not done yet, meaning we're not done with our lives. We want to do some other things, and this is one of the things that we all have in common. We like taking trips. We want to see the country, and so that's where we're at. Now, getting back to what we just came back from, you know, we'd all taken vacation and time off and planned the Newfoundland trip beginning of August, and some of the guys dropped out when we decided to cancel it, and we picked up to Ride the Wilds, and I was lucky enough to make some contacts over the internet, get some lodging, and what happened was we spent, I think, 6 days in the northern part, right on the Canadian border, in Pittsburgh, right outside of Pittsburgh.
In fact, some people got very familiar with the Canadian border going on their way to it, but you might be able to see that in the video.
And we stayed at a place called Cardinal Cabins, great place. Warren, and I don't remember Warren's last name,
Yeah.
but he was
Cardinal
Cabins, yeah.
Yeah.
And really nice cabin. You'll see that in the videos. I think we'll put that in the videos. And that was our home base, and we rode trails there we stayed local the first day and the last day, but everything else we took some pretty far jaunts, and again, don't want to tell you too much because we want you to watch the series we're going to put out, but
Oh, you don't want to tell them the time we got lost in pouring down rain?
no, we'll save that.
You don't want to tell them,
Little teaser, but we don't want to tell you everything.
You don't want to tell them about the harrowing experiences riding in the dark up and down the mountains, not being able to see 3 feet in front of you,
I don't know what he's talking
or
about.
the part where the police stopped us.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
We were on the wrong part of the road.
Yeah, like in town.
Not done purposely,
No, not done purposely. We would never intentionally violate any laws.
but don't tell them anymore.
No, we wouldn't want to tell them.
Don't tell them anymore. If they watch the video, they'll see all of these fun adventures. So maybe they'll learn what not to do.
The first adventure cost me an additional $856 in damages to my unit.
And that was from what site? We were at Mines and Meadows.
No,
that was Tecumseh. Tecumseh Trails.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be one that they'd want to watch. In fact, I think we have 2 videos that have different angles of that particular moment in your life.
It wasn't my life, it was Wayne's life.
Well, it was your machine's life.
Yeah, it was my machine's life. I'll never do that again.
He will. He will.
You will.
This is all part of the experience. If we weren't doing things like this, why are we out there?
Right?
If we just wanted to ride around like we were in a golf cart, we would have bought golf carts. So we want to keep challenging our abilities and stuff like that. And so getting back to the New Hampshire, you'll see in the series, after the first, I think, 6 days, we went from Pittsburgh down to Berlin, Gorham area.
Yeah.
We had found an Airbnb, but when our group got numbers went down because of changing from Newfoundland to New Hampshire, we had to get out of the Airbnb, and we ended up staying at a hotel. The guy at the hotel was nice, but it was not a nice place to stay. And luckily, we didn't spend any time really other than sleeping. We rode more on those days than we did in the northern part or north of that. Long trips, long days, and it was nice. But like I said, we're going to do a series on this. We want to make short videos, and the goal for this kind of trip is to kind of tell people, if you want to do this, we want to give you tips on what, and we're not experts, but we did do it. We learned quite a bit on the trip, and I think mileage, we were in the 10 days we rode, we took one down day where we just stayed around the cabin.
Mm-hmm.
So we rode 9 days or 8.5, and we did a little over 700 miles, I think, total. And they advertise Ride the Wilds as 1,300 miles of interconnected trails, and we try to hit everything we could find. Obviously, some were closed, and we'll get to that in the series. But the idea behind this is to give everybody input on how you can plan a trip like this, how you can do a trip like this. The nice thing you'll see in this trip too is the three of us, who are all right around the same age. We're the old, what we call the old guys.
They're older than me.
are the old, what we call the old guys, and then I took my two sons and one of their friends. So, and no, I took one. Yeah, I took two sons, and
how many sons did you have?
And Chris went too. So there was. So now I'm confused. I thought we had an even number. Didn't we have an even number?
You know, they make meds for that.
Yeah.
Well, you had two, I had two, and well,
I see. I forgot about it. So it was even. So we had 4 old guys.
Yeah.
And Wayne was in the old guy trip. We'll introduce him
Wayne's
later.
Old. Don't let him kid you.
And then we had 3 young guys. So my 2 sons, John's son, Chris, and then one of their friends, Eli. And it was a good mix. It was really actually a really fun trip. The old guys kind of hung out when they wanted to. The young guys hung out when they wanted to. But when we rode together, I think everybody had fun. It was a great trip.
Everybody drove. Everybody took turns.
Yeah.
Everybody navigated. It was good. And all of our trips, they've all been that way.
Yep.
But New Hampshire was our biggest trip yet. Farthest trip.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're going to document all that for you. And we want to keep the video short but informational. Show you some funny stuff. Show you some things we did. Show you the sights we saw. It's a beautiful place to go and ride. We took
maybe give some tips on what to do when you get there, because we certainly didn't know what to do, and it kind of messed us up for the first couple of days. But once we talked to some people and figured some things out,
well, I think for me that's the best part of the whole thing. We really didn't do any fast food type restaurants.
No.
When we ate out, we asked local people where's the best place to eat. Where are the best places to stay, and different attractions to participate in their community. So we get to meet a lot of nice folks.
Local people.
Rob's not an introvert anymore. He's more willing to talk to people.
I don't know what these guys are talking about. I just picked my places where I like to get an extrovert. But it was overall great trip.
I'm just excited that people who follow us will get an opportunity on our site to watch our adventure, and then to follow us, and then hopefully we'll find out about them, and maybe we can follow them as well on their sites if anybody does that. But if they don't,
and this is a good one to watch, because when I was planning this and searching the internet and YouTube, and I found a lot of information on Ride the Wilds, but the information was all like, it's 1,300 miles interconnected trails, but there was no actual information that showed you what to see, what to do, maps of things. And we kind of just found our way around things, and just everybody kind of said, let's try this, let's do this. Everybody pitched in ideas, and that's what we want to bring out in this series that we're going to put out, is that when you go on and look for stuff, and if you see our stuff, you find it, watch our videos, and and if you like the content, like it. If you want to subscribe to our channel and see more, subscribe to it, and hopefully we give you information where this might be a trip that you do with your son, or a bunch of guys or buddies that you hang around with, or it might be something that you can add to your bucket list if you're already riding other places.
So it's on the YouTube
Not
channel. Done Yet Adventures.
Not Done Yet Adventures. And it focuses on us 3, but we've added, like I said, we get our families involved, our wives involved, and Wayne, and there's other guys, a couple guys Greg works with or knows, and the more people I think that go, the more fun you have, and that's what we're doing this for.